All right, so here we go, and welcome to Under the Black Light with your host, Mr. Governor Wildstar. That's me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Under the Black Light. Just wanted to explain to you guys a bit about what the premise of the show here is. It's just going to be candid conversations between me and the select few of guests, and just going to be providing these perspectives and opinions, I guess, from black people. This will be a show that will be showcasing black people, and I am black, and all of my guests will be black. So everything that we will be discussing will be black oriented. And so for those people out there that may have a problem with, things that are black, that are FUBU, I guess, inspired of FUBU production, then this may not be for you. In which case, then you don't have to listen, okay? But for those people that are open to such to such information, it's good to hear perspectives from whoever they may be. You know what I'm saying? So for those people out there that are open to such opinions and perspectives, I welcome you and I thank you for being here and being pro-black and supporting this endeavor of mine. And I thank you very much. So my name again is Nicholas Wildstar. Call myself Governor Wildstar, and I am the governor. And I'm here with a very special guest that I would like to introduce to you guys now. His name is Mr. Marlin Dujuan, okay, and he is a very esteemed poet and friend of mine. He is the poet of the Black Grimoire, as well as a book called Take It or Leave It. So Take It or Leave It, or the Black Grimoire. You can take it or leave the Black Grimoire, whatever you want, but I'll say you take both of them books. And like I said, he is a very dear friend of mine, and I would just like to introduce this brother to you, Mr. Marlin Dujuan. Say what's up to the people, man.
Man, how you doing, people? Man, particularly my people, that likes the movement of their state of mind, like to change their thinking. And as long as you change your thinking, then you got one up on other people who don't change their thinking. It's all about a mental state of you. And thank you, Governor Wildstar, man. You're excellent. And, I'm gonna let everybody know how much you excellent, man, Governor.
Oh, thank you,
We
brother.
need more like you.
Hey,
We need a whole lot like you.
we need more people like you. That's what I'm really talking about. This brother right here, he called me pretty much out of nowhere. I was doing my governor thing, going around watching particular videos on YouTube and just dropping, a little bit of knowledge, just something to say, hey, the revolution needs you, and then I would plug my YouTube channel, tell people to subscribe, tell people to visit the website, and I was just letting them know, and it was on certain particular videos, and I think this one in particular was Mr. Marcus Garvey, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, and I had left some comments on Mr. Marcus Garvey, and again had left the plug, and my brother Marlin Dujuan hit me up, and we had a very lengthy, deep, involved discussion, and we just related on a whole nother level, and we talked for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours that night, I think. We was chopping it up for a minute. I know that, but I enjoyed myself, and man, I just thank you very much for just calling me and reaching out to me. Like I said, we need more people like you that are interested in just reaching out and connecting with one another. Despite our perspectives or point of views, etc. It's just nice to connect with each other, just to learn from one another. It's like we depend on other people and I guess the authorities to provide us with information when really in actuality the truth comes from each other. So yeah, when you called me, man, I was very blessed by your you know your presence, and I thank you for being here.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Well, yeah, I just want to again talk a little bit about how we met. What made you want to contact me? I mean, what made you even want to do that?
Anything that I hear black or I see black, I'm not just the most racist dude. That's not why I call you just because I'm pro black. But anything that blacks excites me, and whether you black power, whatever it is, whether it's a black author, anything black that I consider my family, you know, and it caught my eye or it caught my attention, you know, just the things you said. When I see the word governor, I'm like, okay, ain't he about black people? Ain't he's governor? So let me give him a call to see can we, you know, where can we take this at?
See what I'm really talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything black excites me, you know. The word black. I see, black is not. You already know black is not our real color. We brown. But when you say black, it's a description of that brown.
Right, right.
So that's why I say I'm black. We're not actually black, but we brown and red. But black is like more of a. When you say black, say everybody's so racist. When they say black, they say it's a dark word, or it's a bad word, or it's evil. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, I mean, it's not just evil, but it's like a negativity type vibration.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It always has had a negative connotation. Blackmailed, blackballed, blacklisted. You know what I'm saying? It just goes on. Yeah, exactly. Black ice. You know, it's just it has everything to do with wrong, and it's awful because that association. We as a people have associated that identity with ourselves, you know, and it's awful because again, this is how the majority of the masses looks at us as a whole. And instead of us being individuals, I mean, you have people that are white that are ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You have people that are Spanish that are ignorant,
Black,
you know, but
goes deep. It's not just about a description of that person, but black is also a description of the soul.
oh yes, we will get into that in a moment here, you know, but
I'm jumping the gun.
I know, right?
Yeah,
don't get too deep on them too quick, but we'll get there.
Quick, man.
Yeah, but yeah. With regards to when this brother reached out to me again, we had this long, involved conversation, and during which he informed me that he was an author and had written several books. And afterwards, I took it upon myself to reach out to him like he did for me and read his book. So I grabbed them real quick off of Amazon, got 2 copies, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, read the books maybe. I think I flew through your first book maybe in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Wow.
Second book, same deal, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in a matter of a month, I had already consumed all of the knowledge that you was, you know, putting out there to be shared. And I just want to talk about the books, if we may, you know, inform the people of its content, and the subject matter involved, because they are very controversial topics here. You get I guess that would be saying the least to say. You know what I'm saying? So would you mind? Would you mind elaborating a bit on what those topics and you know matters of discussion are?
Taking attention when a lot of things came to mind when I was intertwined with the spirit, and it was so crazy. Everything I wrote down on paper was so crazy that I had to call this book Take It or Leave It. I didn't even know that the book was going to become a book until maybe like 10 years later. 10 years later, the book was still labeled Take It or Leave It. Now, it took me almost 9 or 10 years to figure out why I did. I named the book Take It or Leave It because it was to a point where I didn't even care no more. I didn't care what you thought. I didn't care what you was thinking of me.
Right.
So I said, fuck it, take it or leave it. Because either you take it or you leave it. Basically, I don't give a damn what you think, nigga. Basically, that's how I was feeling at that time when I wrote types of notes. Because take it or leave it came through notes and personal experiences. So I just put that in the book and named it Take It or Leave It. Like, shit, basically, I don't really care, homie. You can take it, you can leave it. And the Black Grimoire was strictly on black, whether it was a person's skin or whether it was just basically black people or black law. So I wrote everything to black and named it the Black Grimoire because it's basically about black, period. It's not just about the skin color, but it goes deeper. You know, it's a real gruesome title, but it's not what it's not what you think it is.
Right, of course. Yeah, and I mean, looking at the cover of the book, I may put that up on the plug during the video or whatever, but looking at the cover of the book, you know, it kind of gets the mind going because people will wonder, you know, what the hell is in this book?
Let me clarify this, my brother. That book cover was done by my publisher. I didn't even know what the heck it mean until I studied it later. That's astrology. But when I first got this cover of this book, I was amazed. Like, what the heck is this?
Hey, that to me, that just means whoever you had on your team is on your level. You know what I'm saying? Because they were able to receive the information that you were sharing and provide that visual that it needed. You know, because to me, that kind of brought things home even more. You know.
The book cover.
Oh, yeah, it pulled me in. I mean, and that's what people gravitate towards is, you know, sometimes they just need that image to kind of capture their attention. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely don't think that was a bad thing at all. If anything, I'd embrace it and say it was meant to be, you know? So,
I had this conversation before with a couple of people about the book cover. I ain't never had it like this one, though, but, you know, I had a couple conversations on that cover, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure indeed, definitely. Just the word grimoire, you know, people don't even know what that means, but, you know, if it takes a negative connotation or, you know, sort of a cultish type of a influence, and I would say that's what I gathered from the book. I'll just tell you really quickly what I took away from the first and second book. The first book, Take It or Leave It, to me was exactly what you said. Just like, hey, take this evolution of self, and you can take it or leave it, you know, because it is who I am now. But it has a lot to do with religion and leaving the Bible alone. I guess I wouldn't even say leaving the Bible alone, but taking what the Bible has taught us as black people and equating it for what it is, which was a tool to keep us oppressed and keep us controlled and in a box, you know, keep us subject and complacent. And a lot of black people don't want to accept that of the Bible as it is, you know. That's where they take it or leave it, you know. So, yeah, and to.
Believe me, I didn't bump into a lot of Christians. They left it. You understand me?
Oh yeah, I mean you got people evolving out of it, but I'm saying the black church we know is very powerful when it comes to influence or it being influential on its grasp and hold on our community, you know. It's like people when they go through shit, they always gravitate towards God, you know? And so when that happens, and we go through shit every day, you know, everything, anything happen, and especially in the hood. So when that shit happens, what happened? The nigga run up in the church, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that the pastor got all of the answers, and really what it is they're just looking for God. And the pastor don't know where God is. The pastor think he knows where God is. The pastor think he knows God, but really God is in everything and in everyone, you know? I was talking to a brother who just who's going through some troubles with his wife right now, and they're having issues and being divorced, yada yada. And he told me, you know, he went to church looking for answers and all of this. I said, man, what you going to church for if you're not really religious, you know? He's like, man, I just needed something. We started talking. I dropped some knowledge on him, and he was like, man, I didn't even think about it like that. And I was like, yeah, and see, you learning that from me right here sitting on the bus while you thinking you gonna learn it in church. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
I'm like,
right there on the street.
yeah, go out in the world and live and learn experience. And that's what I felt like you were expressing in your first book was just your own personal journey and going out and doing that, you know? And I thank you for sharing that with us, you know? And that was just very brave of you to do, especially with the expression of that transition, you know?
Yeah,
So,
hell of a transition too.
oh yeah, definitely. And then with the second book, The Black Grimoire, okay, which I actually read first, believe it or not, because of the cover. So I'm gonna give you more credit there. Okay? Because I'm not really a religious person per se. So when I saw the cover of Black Grimoire, I'm like, okay, I gotta peep that, see what that's about. Because at that point in time, I was looking more into occultism and you know, reading into what's his name, Aleister Crowley. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just learning a bit about what the white man knows, you know what I'm saying? The whole Behold a Pale Horse, you know that book, a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of that information intrigues me because the devil is in the details, but so is God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, both of them, huh?
Oh yeah, and
the take it or leave it is also occultism. Because that's where the take it or leave it, the Black Grimoire, I get the Black Grimoire from the last chapter of Take It or Leave It. So the second chapter, the introduction of Black Physics,
right.
Take It or Leave It, that's a carry-on to Black Grimoire. So you also have occultism also in Take It or Leave It that's black as well.
Oh yeah, it was like a hinting at it and lead up to the Black Grimoire, and then
Exactly.
the Black Grimoire like
that on purpose.
yeah, oh yeah. And then it kind of just picked up where it left off, you know?
Man, you got it.
Oh yeah. But
Nobody won't be lost.
absolutely, man. And I mean, to me, I wouldn't really say I call myself a religious person per se. I'll just say I'm open to God and what God is, no matter in what religion or shape or form he may appear to me or she may appear to me as being. You know, but the Eternal Mother Father is definitely here and is present. And I felt like in that book, it was definitely, it tapped me in a way that I had never, ever been able to read in words. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like all right, when you go through a spiritual epiphany from moving away from being a Christian per se to being an evolved thinker, it's hard to kind of find and grasp words to express what you're going through, you know? And the things you were saying in that book, oh my God, man. I thought people never, you know what I'm saying? The sunspot and, you know, when you blink and you see the lights and all of that stuff, man, those are things I never thought other people would actually talk about or even, you know, you see what I'm saying? Oh yeah, just to come across it was just like a big weight off of my shoulders and off of my spirit, and it just made me feel like a instant kinship and a relation with you on another level, you know. And a lot of people, I would suggest you definitely read the Black Grimoire. You know, if you are open to reading other books, if you read the Apocrypha, which is another King James book, who is the author who wrote the Bible, and it's just a continuation.
And if you look at it, everybody's so stuck on the Bible with King James, but this dude also wrote a demonology book, King James, demonology.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He wrote a book called Demonology.
Exactly.
And so if you want to read more than what the Bible teaches you, look at who wrote the Bible,
Yeah.
And you can't just take characters of the Bible, because I can read characters in any type of book and be like, ooh, I love that character. I could read Lord of the Rings or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be like, ooh, I love that character. Instantly I have a relation with that person.
What throws us off. The characters throws us off.
Yeah, exactly.
We thinking these characters were really characters, and they wasn't people. That's an occultism, metaphysics, allegory definition of describing something better, not just a character, but he's describing energies and forces and just different energies.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. That's all these characters are describing are certain energies that lives inside the soul. That's all these characters. They never existed physically.
Right.
And that's what's throwing us off, because we're thinking that these characters was one day they walked the earth.
Right.
And that's not what this Bible is talking about. It's talking about a description of certain energies. That's all it is. It's metaphysics.
Well, one of the main energies that you discuss in your book is the energy of melanin and what it creates. Mm-hmm. Would you mind elaborating a bit on that for the audience?
Melanin it's a lot of things. It's not just black, but it's green. As you know, it's chlorophyll. It's red. It's blood. It's black and brown. It's our skin color. It's beneath the epidermis. It's dirt. It's air. It's our heart. It's love. It's energy. And it's also the soul. But melanin plays every part of every role of every situation of every religion. And they just put it in different terminology so that they won't let you know that the melanin that you possess is more heavily than they can ever imagine. So they get the melanin out and they put evil words. They put satanic methods to describe a black man.
Right. And now I would like to say, because when you say how to describe a black man, all right, so our understanding of it as black people in America, for people out there listening, is when we heard the word melanin, it only had to do with skin pigmentation and white people getting a tan, okay? So when we think about melanin, we immediately associate it, because the thing, again, words in our country, in our state of being, in our life period, has everything to do with association. So when we hear the word melanin, we're like, oh, you got more melanin in your skin, your darker skin, which again, in our country, has everything to do with a relation with tanning. So when we hear white people talking about, oh, I need more melanin in my skin and all of this stuff, we thinking they just talking about getting a tan, and nothing more. We don't go into thinking about what that means. What that means,
It's everything. It's everything.
Exactly. It's everything, because it's a transformation of you. Think about it. You're taking in something that's changing your physical makeup of it, your physical makeup. So, of course, in something changing your physical makeup is going to change your chemical makeup as well. Well, what are the effects of the change of that chemical makeup change? You know what I'm saying? The change is more soul. You didn't know that, huh? See, the darker you get, the more soul you got. And that's really the influence of the melanin. You see what I'm saying? That's why
Yes, sir.
black people in just in nature seem to have more soul. We even, our food is called soul food. Our music is called soul music. We didn't do that. We didn't give it that title. White people did. Why did they give it that title? You know what I'm saying?
They know something.
Exactly. They know something. What they know that we don't know?
They know something about you don't know.
Exactly. They know something about you that you don't know. And that's what we need to start asking ourselves is what the hell is it that they know about us that we don't know? That we should know that we not talking about, you know? And that is who we really are as people. And we talk about being kings and queens, yeah, but where does that come from?
Yada yada, you know.
Exactly.
That comes later because if you don't know that you got $1,000 in the bank, then I guess you ain't got that money, right?
Right. And see, and that's the thing. Is people thinking they privileged by how much money that they got in the bank, opposed to how wealthy they are in spirit and in knowledge, you know? Because those are the true riches in life. And it's sad. It's sad because as people, we don't learn that until we're older. You know, the younger minded people are just like about the bling and bling, you know, cars and whatever, clothes, shoes.
That's real crazy. The money in the bank is your melanin because I was doing my research on melanin, on black people one day. I was in Vegas. Me and my wife was in Vegas, and I left the computer on. And remember, I didn't touch nothing. So the computer turned off, and when I turned it back on, the whole thing changed from melanin from carbon 616. And I'm like, what the hell? I didn't touch this shit. What somebody came in here and fucked with my computer.
Right.
I don't know what the hell that was about, but the carbon 616, that's your DNA changing. See, everybody changing. Everything changes. Not just black people. You got plants. Even the white people is changing from mankind to man.
Right.
You know, and the plants is changing from a different point of chlorophyll. And everything changes from one amino acid and they go up amino acid or they might decrease their amino acid. However the case is. But they're changing their DNA strand. They're becoming more evolved into, if they wasn't, whatever they looking for, that's what they're going to become.
Now, really quickly, because you saying some stuff that are that's probably a bit over people's heads right now. Were you talking about the breakdown?
Let me slow down.
Were you talking about the breakdown of the 616? What does that mean for the people so you can tell them? I know.
The 616 is like more of the 666. But it's decreasing its atoms from 6 all the way to 1. So that 6-1, that's 6, but it decreased its atoms now in 616. And that's in the brain as it's a metaphysics thing. As the picture of Jesus Christ and his disciples, when the disciples is gathered around Jesus, you got Jesus Christ in the middle, and then you have people to the side. I think it was wait a minute. It's 6 to his left and 6 to his right. Jesus Christ makes the 13th proton or neutron. So that picture is describing a metaphysical analogy of the brain of 616. So you got 6 on his left, 6 on his right, and Christ is that one.
All right, wait. Okay, see, we still going over their heads right now. I'm telling you. They still puzzle. Right. Yeah, I mean.
That's all these characters are representing in certain energies.
Right.
Protons, electrons, photons. All these characters that describe in the Bible are not living people, but there's energies and certain energy that surround the body. So with astrology and its chakras, those who are familiar with chakras, it's an energy wheel. If people are familiar with it.
Wow.
Chakras are the main energy. You have 7 main energies in your body. You have 7. And then you have 144,000 minor chakras.
Oh yeah, it gets deep, people, and really we only gonna hint on these things, but in actuality, it's on you to research. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about these things, and we're not gonna explain to you how you want us to. I don't know what y'all think, but just like you ask us, where do we learn the information? Well, the same place you can learn the information. It's called a resource. You know, when you read an article, at the end, you don't read the article and just take it as face value. Even the article, the editor doesn't do it, because at the end of that article, you will find where it says sources, and they will recite to you everywhere to where they got their information. And that's what I'm saying is, during these conversations, you have to take it upon yourself to go out there and find those sources. Your new Encyclopedia Britannica is called Google. Okay? And I know older people don't want to accept it. They say you can't believe everything you find on the internet. But shit, the internet is the new book. You know what I'm saying? It's a
That internet is excellent.
Oh yeah.
But the main thing why I hopped on this phone was where you get the information from. You get all your information from within yourself.
Oh yeah, you have to know.
That's where I get it from.
Oh yeah, cuz it has to resonate with spirit. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they let the truth and they let the truth be lied to, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? And if you know the truth as a person, why do you believe the lie? And we've gotten so brainwashed into believing the lie that we forget what the truth is, and when we hear it, we don't believe it or understand it, or it sounds muted, or just whatever the case may be. You have
It's
to,
a lot to catch. It's
yeah,
a lot to catch.
yeah,
First of all, you have to get out of that thinking of your beliefs. Actually, I don't care what religion you are, as long as you change your beliefs of perception from an outward, upward God to an inward God. That's what this main thing is about. It's
yes,
about changing the way how you look at God, changing the way of what God is to you personally. Not everybody else, only you. Because the God that lives in you, that's the God that's going to take you to yourself.
right.
Not
And
this upward God.
that is what God is, everything. You know what I'm saying? All of its elemental characters and factors, even with the compound breakdown of the triple six and 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons,
I'm just
you
giving
know.
them to think about.
Yeah. I mean, people need to know, because when they hear that triple six, they immediately think about the devil. Oh, the devil and Lucifer. When really, again, who told you these things? Who told you? Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about in your book is you start talking about, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it. You start talking about the devil being God, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
now, because that's, all right, because a lot of people are going to take that as being like, oh, he's a Luciferian, and, he's a devil worshiper, all of this other shit, but you a good dude. From everything I know about you, everything about you is good in spirit. You're very loving. You're very humble and peaceful. You talk to my wife, which I don't allow. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to other men. I mean, she is a woman that is, of course, independent and doing her own thing. But when it comes to her talking to another man on the phone, hours on in an intimate nature, I'm gonna talk to her about those things, and that's one thing I'm not gonna allow. But for you to have such a relationship with her like you do with me says a lot, because my circle is very closed, and very few enter. Many may apply, but very few, may be
I know
received.
what you mean.
So,
You ain't saying nothing that I ain't never heard. I got you.
yeah, so you a great dude to me. And so, hearing that, people may think, oh, because you're a devil worshiper, you're an evil person, you know? And that's just wrong in itself because, again, who is the one that created this public opinion, quote unquote, for the whole of us, instead of us going out and finding out things ourselves? And so what makes you think that the devil is God?
One thing, it took time. And I read that Holy Bible. We go back to the Bible, where that's everybody's weapon, right? So if we all on the same page here, which is the King James Version, which the Christians don't want to read the Old Testament. Now, I read that Bible to and fro, 4 or 5 times I read that Bible. And every time I read that Bible, it keeps telling me something about Lucifer. And I'm like, wait a minute, Lucifer is a bad guy. Why when he was in heaven, he fell from heaven?
How did he even get to heaven to start with if the brother was evil?
Exactly.
If you evil to the core, why are you God's right-hand man? That's what I want to know. Question number 1. Right. Continue. I apologize.
No problem. He was an angel of light.
Mm-hmm.
He still is right now. But like I said, remember, you got to subtract the characterism of Lucifer, because remember, Lucifer was never a character, right? Remember, these characters in the Bible, they're not characters, but they're description of something else. When I say Christ and Lucifer, I don't actually mean two people fighting, 2 angels in heaven going to war. Come on, that's a religious belief that you was taught to raise by.
Hey.
You was taught to think this way. But Lucifer, I'm going to break down Lucifer, and I also broke down Lucifer in my book, The Black Grimoire. Or was it Take It or Leave It, Introduction of Black Physics. I'm a say it right now. Lucifer is an element of melanin. It's a formula of melanin. And we can describe that melanin was a black man's spirit. The black man's soul is full of black. Let me explain this. When you get into the book or a chemistry book, if you have a chemistry book, turn to the back of the chemistry book and look on the periodic table, you will find out that these elements that's on the back of the periodic table are not to be looked over, because melanin plays a big part of formula, and this formula of melanin is Lucifer. You have, you spell Lucifer out. You got the Lu. That Lu is amino acid, which is nitrogen. And when you look up C in the back of the periodic table, that's the carbon 6. That's the melanin inside that crystal. And when you the I in Lucifer is the iodine, that's salt.
The salt of the earth.
That's the salt. The iodine.
The salt of the earth.
The I in Lucifer is iodine. The fur, that's the sulfur.
Okay.
The sulfur. So when you say Lucifer, these elements are coming together to form a formula of melanin, and melanin is the black man's soul. So when you say Lucifer, it doesn't mean like, I'm going to get you, nigga, and I'm evil, and I'll do witchcraft and voodoo, and I'm coming to take your soul. That's the reason how we was raised.
Right.
Lucifer. But Lucifer is light of wisdom, as you know, in Behold the Pale Horse. Those who read Behold the Pale Horse will know that Lucifer is the shining star full of wisdom.
Right. They even call him the morning star.
In the Bible.
You know? So wait a minute. Right, in the Bible, you call him the morning star. You know?
In the Bible it says this.
So these are your own words, you know, and then the people again, these are words that they're telling us, and words have a lot of power. I mean, let me tell you about one word in particular, spellbound. You ever heard that word?
Spellbound?
The person spoke so well they had me spellbound. Or when the singer was on stage, their voice was spellbinding. You see what I'm saying? Look at that word, spellbound. Because the words that person is expressing has you under a spell, you know?
I got you.
And all these words we've been hearing over time has had us spellbound. We need to break the spell. You know what I'm saying? So
Lucifer is not a word.
Right,
So we're
right.
together. We're
Exactly.
together.
So as alchemists, we have to change the elements
Gotcha.
and know these words and how they exist and how they affect us. You know what I'm saying? Because to me,
Christ,
to
Christ to
me,
me was
what's that? Go ahead.
Christ to me was alchemy. He was an alchemist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So was Lucifer. So when Christ meet Lucifer, that's the great fight. Remember that great fight? The great fight in the Bible, Armageddon, when Christ finally arrives again and takes out Lucifer. This is an alchemical meaning of Lucifer is the Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody be like, wait a minute now, Marlon, you're going too far. You're tripping, man. Lucifer is not the Christ. You have to realize what I'm saying here and how I'm saying it. You see, everybody's so stuck on their beliefs, they can't grasp what I'm really saying here. They really think that the devil came from hell is Christ.
Right, right.
And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm coming from a metaphysical, alchemical type definition of Lucifer is the Christ.
Well, I'll say this. We identify again with these entities as being separate. You know, when really in actuality, once you do your research, people, you will find out they are one and the same. If we talk about God being everything and everyone, then God would be your Christ and God would be your devil. You see what I'm saying? So God would be everything that you are claiming is two different things. And this creation of duality, even in itself, that we continue to perpetuate, it's called the Luciferian project, the Luciferian experiment. You can Google this and find it out on your own again. And it will talk about how we have created duality by saying what is right and what is wrong instead of letting everything being all and, you know, creating separation. We even talk about dividing and conquering and all of this other stuff. And, you know, moving along because I don't want to hang up too much time. Speaking of dividing and conquering, let's talk about what's going on in our country right now with this whole, I guess, our new president creating executive orders banning Muslims and creating a wall to separate us from Mexico and, you know, picking fights with Australia. I mean, what's going on? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to start a war with Mexico and they're right there. You know what I'm saying? But he's talking about sending in troops just like Afghanistan or Iran or something. Nah, that ain't gonna happen, man. But yeah, it's creating a lot of divide in our country right now. So how do you feel about that, Mr. Marlin Dujuan?
Wow, it's something that comes to mind when I watch the news. I'm not really a politician, dude, but I will say this from my own experience of opinion that Trump just doing his job. We all thought Obama was going to do something. He did his job, just like George Bush did their job. They just got a job to do. And once they leave the office, they're going to go back to their mansions. They're going to go work somewhere else in the White House, not on TV, but they're going to work maybe in council. All I'm saying to say this, it's a McDonald's job for Trump. That's all America is. It's just a Burger King job.
Right.
Get paid.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, when you say what that job is, what do you think their job is, really?
It's nothing but a Burger King job.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing but a job and position. Yeah. He just playing a position just like you making fries.
Right.
When you make your fries, you're gonna get paid. And if you don't make the fries correctly, as you've been told, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't blame Trump or any other politician, whether it's Democrat or Republican, because that's not where my head is. My head is strictly on black in their soul. But like I said, Trump he just doing his job.
Right,
like Obama did his.
and I completely agree with you because people don't look at America like a corporation. You know how a corporation would run. we think the president is the person in charge, of a
Nah, not at
corporation.
all.
At
Not at all.
McDonald's, the president of McDonald's is the one in charge,
Not
or
at
the
all.
president of Toyota, or whatever the hell.
On the
And
train.
knowing damn well that motherfucker can get fired and replaced, and another
Yep.
one can
Pretty
replace them.
much.
So who is the person that's doing the firing and the hiring of the president? Because that motherfucker is really
You
in.
never know. You would
Ex-
never know.
Right. But
never
I can sum it up to you like this, brother. Whoever that is, they got money, deep pockets. You see what I'm saying? They money stretched so far, so long that you'll never see it. And it's pulling all of the strings, and no, the puppet is all that you see. And that's the president.
That's all you see.
The president, okay? So people need to start summing it up like that. You are looking at the puppet, not the puppet master, okay? So when Trump is up there, doing his marionetting, or whatever you want to call it, because
He's such an actor.
yeah, because I hate to tell you people, some of you are marionettes yourself. You're puppets to this system. And you need to wake up. You need to cut your strings, cut yourself loose, and get free. Get free. That's what black people talk about. We talk about cutting the strings, getting free. And speaking about freedom, I want to talk, since it's Black History Month, we're going to talk about cutting the strings and breaking free and all of this other stuff. Okay.
This the conversation I was waiting for.
Oh yeah. Okay. So one of the people that I would guess helped create more freedom or inspiration of cutting the strings in a very cinematic way was, or I would say, one movie in particular. To me, was The Matrix. How about you?
Yeah, Matrix was pretty nice.
Okay.
Describing illusion, it was pretty nice.
Right. So while we talk about the Matrix and all of this stuff, and people see it, and it's a really involved movie, and yeah, and then I ended up finding some information now where supposedly the creator of the Matrix is not really the Wachowski brothers, who is now the Wachowski sisters, because they did that transformation.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they're women now. Oh yeah, the creators of the Matrix are now two twin brothers, sisters, two sister brothers, or whatever you want to call it. Well, anyways, so now that's their choices, people. Anyway, so supposedly they took this story from a sister named Sophia Stewart, and she supposedly wrote a movie called The Third Eye, and when she submitted it back in 1983 or something, early 80s, Hollywood got it, and they turned it down 3 years later. Well, during that time, they had also created a movie called The Terminator, and then she saw that, and she saw similarities to her story. Next thing you know, she let it slide. She actually wrote them. They ignored the complaint, you know what I'm saying? Finally said they got it or something, whatever. Anyways, then she sees The Matrix and she's like, oh, hell no, because that's a straight ripoff. And the reason being is because of this. In her story, she talks about us living in this false reality and us opening up our third eye to break out of it. And I'm going to tell you people, this shit is real. When we talk about truth coming from melanin, this is the ultimate truth. You are living in a actual organic something. Okay? When you look around you, you think your planet, you just look at your planet as being I don't even know what to call it, like a material or something. We don't think of our planet as being alive, an actual live being. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, the fleas on a dog don't think about its place of residence. It just is a flea. So it's going to abuse where it is, and then what happens? The dog bites the fleas. Okay, well, the same deal goes on. I mean, there's tons of organisms that live on other mammals or beings, species or whatever, and are clueless to what's going on. Same thing is going on with you as a human being. You are on this planet and it is alive and it is responding to you, okay? So I look up at the sky with my third eye and I see it open and I see the matrix, you know? And then when this opened me to the world around me, because if you look up in the sky on a clear blue day, people, you can see the matrix. It looks like a DNA strand. I kid you not. You'll see a billions of dots, just different colors, okay? But if you actually look at it, just focus your eyes, you will start to see a code to those spinning dots or whatever. Those spinning dots are going to end up looking like what looks like a strand of DNA, how we've been shown a DNA strand looks like. Well, if you ever see the picture of a DNA strand move really fast, well, that's what's happening in your sky around you. And that is the world that we live in. It's living. So to come to such a, I guess, existential awakening as a person, it was very mind-blowing, very eye-opening, you know? So how did you feel when your third eye opened and you saw the world as what it is for the first time?
Oh wow, that right there that got my book started. Take it or leave it. When my third eye opened, I became hysterical. I became energized. I became confused. It was confusing. I didn't know where I was at. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't drinking. I was more of open, and my energies were so high that I started writing things on paper. You know, I was just writing. I was going crazy. It just had me going crazy. With my third eye completely open, I started seeing things. I started to realize who I was, and I started to realize where I was at. And I started writing some scribble-scrabble, just scribble-scrabble on paper. Come to find out that it wasn't scribble-scrabble at all. So once my third eye opened up, the scribble-scrabbling that I had on these papers became take it or leave it. When my third eye opened.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. When my third eye opened, I started beginning to write scribble-scrabble like, man, I'm like, what the heck is this shit?
I loved it. I loved it, man. Cause like I said, I'm reading everything you wrote, and after going through such an experience, I'm reading everything you wrote, man, and it hit me like the Matrix did. You know what I'm saying? Only again in a way to where it was completely blunt and just a heart to heart, like a friend or a relative would talk to you. So I just appreciate you so much, man, for being strong enough to go through that and actually just put it down on paper for real. Because that's hard to do. That is very hard to do.
It sure was hard, man. I had to deal with family members, man. That was the hardest thing about it. It was family members and what other people was going to think about what the hell you just wrote down.
Okay, can we hint on that really quickly? How did your family and friends receive the book?
They didn't receive it. That's the whole purpose. They did not. They left it. I gave them an ultimatum. I say, either you take it or leave it, sucker. Man, they say, I'm leaving it. Bye. I'm leaving it, and I'm leaving you, nigga.
Wow.
So they left it, but that's not why I wrote the book. I wrote the book because it was scribble-scrabble. The words that you see in there, the personal experiences, the things that you feel when you read that book, the feeling, a certain intuition of your joy, because you're going to get joy by reading this book. Take it or leave it. Once you get into take it or leave it, you're going to have a extreme overstate of mental joy once you get into take it or leave it. And that's the scribble-scrabble, you see?
Nah, I would say, man, that wasn't scribble-scrabble, and that is not the reason why you wrote the book. The reason why you wrote the book was so people like me can receive the word of God in a articulate, verbose, profound way like none other. You know what I'm saying? There's very few books that can deliver that to you, and I feel like your books in particular definitely deliver it without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So,
Let it be.
oh yeah, absolutely. Blessed be Black God. I'll tell you. So yes, thank you for putting that out there, and I tell everyone out there, hey, thank you for paying attention. You hit me up out of thin air, you know?
I hit up, man. You know how much people I hit up, man.
Hey, to me, there's no such thing as coincidences, and that was meant to be. You know what I mean? So, but that's how life is. You have to gamble. You have to keep trying. You know, because people feel like, oh, I've contacted 1 million people and only 3 of them have responded. You know, man,
That's what's going on right now.
that's what's going on. But you have to give. That's the nature of your being as a human being. When we talk about Christmas and all of this stuff, yeah, the reason why we give gifts on Christmas, really, what it used to be was because we wanted to give, not out of the obligation of giving. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a different way of giving from the heart, giving from the soul, from the spirit. So tap into that again and start giving, you know, openly without demanding something in return, you know? Yeah, man. Hey, you know what's funny, dude? My wife and I, we just started watching Black Dynamite, right? And on that TV show, it's a cartoon on Adult Swim for y'all people that don't know. I think it got canceled or whatever, but Black Dynamite was a powerful black cartoon. It was like you know, like a kung fu, like Afro samurai, okay? But the brother was like, you know, from the 70s, one of those blaxploitation characters or whatever, Black Dynamite. Anyway, so we're watching it, and it's a lot of subtle gems that are said in there that just resonate with you, and you're like, wow. Let me hear that one more time. You know what I'm saying? So based on what we're talking about right now, one of the things that he was saying was, he said, you know what I hate about work is you go, you know what I hate about a job? Yeah. You know what I hate about a job is you got to go to work and somebody you go to work and somebody expects for you to do something in return. I'm like, that's the point of a job in the first place. Is it for you to do something and get something in return, you know? And that's what we think about giving is we're looking at giving as being work. You know what I'm saying? We give to people and then expect something in return because, you know, it's an obligation instead of, again, just giving from the heart. So there's something I want to give you guys really quickly, especially you, Brother Marlin Dujuan. It's a piece of poetry, you know, because as a writer, I don't know if you know this, Marlon, but maybe some of the people listening don't know this either, but I'm a musician and I do writing and I write my music, but I also write poetry, and I've written a few and put them out there, and this one in particular I wrote for the show, and I just want to share it with you all right now. So if I may share it with you, Brother Marlon Dujuan, is that cool?
That's excellent. I'm listening.
All right, cool. So, it's called Dear Mr. President, sincerely a black man in America with a triple K. Okay? So I know that's going to say a lot right there, but here we go. Dear Donald Trump, when you were on the campaign trail, you promised a lot. Like most candidates, your rhetoric was nonstop. Most people thought you were just joking around and having fun. Then they started to get serious once you had finally won. Now people want to kick and fuss and wild out and complain. I say too little too late. Voting for the lesser of two evils got us no further than you claim. So now that our president is the icon for misogyny, bigotry, prejudice, fascism, and classism, folks are finally paying attention to just how wrong things are, and for that, I gotta hand it to them. You said you build a wall, and you started on doing just that, but in the fine print is those devilish details talking about how it's gonna be paid for by Americans with a new tax. You said you drained the swamp, then you filled it with nothing but gold, moved the new money into Washington while you hold on to a bit of the old. This world is shocked how you banned Muslims as if they didn't have a clue and never thought about what if that Muslim had been a Christian or a Jew. It's funny how you got people scrambling around like a chicken without a head. All I'm waiting for is what I want, and that's for you to end the Fed. End the Fed. End the Fed. Because you see, what America has taught Black America is what you're all about. And that's getting money. Get that money, no matter how, no matter who you got to take out. It could be your brother or your mother or your best friend, no matter who they are. They better not get between me and my ends. I'm actually glad you're the president, because now nothing is up for question. The hatred America expresses at its core no longer needs second guessing. Supremacy has paved the way for another revolution, but this time Governor Wildstar is here, and I am the revolution and resolution. Screaming power to the people, I'm Black and I'm proud. The king has come to reclaim his throne, and thanks to you, I can now say this happily out loud. With love and peace and blessings from now to the end of days. Sincerely a Black man in America with the triple K. Brother Marlin Dujuan, I just wanted to dedicate that to you. You helped inspire me in so many ways, and I thank you for that. I thank you for being my guest here on this show, and I just appreciate you and love you, man.
Appreciate that. You would let me be the first guest.
Hey.
That means a whole lot.
The honor is all mine, trust me. And I would hope to have you back again in the future if I were to do this. This is just going to be a little experiment, so I'm just, this is going to be the first one. But
just let me know. Just send me the site so I can go to it and listen to it again when you're done with it.
Hey, you know this for sure. All right, brother, man. I love you much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, and have a great day.
You as well. And thank everybody out there in the audience. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. Yeah, come back under the black light with Governor Wildstar. First guest, Marlin Dujuan. Go get his books, The Black Grimoire, and Take It or Leave It. You can take it or leave it. Take it or leave it, and leave it under the black light.
I hope you take it.
For sure. I'll talk to you soon, bro. Have a great one.
Peace, God. Peace.
Hey, blessed to you.